Nice run. Cheers, guys.
All right, we're back here. Winnipeggers 12.
Oh my God.
Can you guys believe we've been doing this for that long?
12 times is a long time to do anything.
Especially all in a row. We never missed a week yet. It's good. We had lots of fun stuff happening. Good sponsors by the plenty. As you saw a couple weeks ago, Totally Arctic Wrestling. And, of course, let's not forget Calgary One Stop Foods.
One Way Foods.
Who still owes us a check.
Well, then we'll then we'll get it right once we get the money.
One Way Foods. And, then, of course, we had last week we had the Crazy Bar.
Still waiting for a check for that one, too.
So there's a lot of people.
A very long time. This week, a great establishment in Winnipeg, Old Calcutta. The top of the line merch, quality clothing, band clothing, all the stuff that you want. You want to get a Metallica shirt? Go to Old Calcutta. You want to get a rock and roll magazine? Go to Calcutta. You want to get a bong?
Oh, Old Calcutta. Yeah.
Look at that.
Old Calcutta has been around since we were teenagers, and it's moved across Portage Avenue to this new location. Beautiful location. But do you remember taking those legendary long bus trips from Westwood St. James all the way down Portage Avenue to a completely different world? Completely different world. Like a little bit of a New York City kind of thing, just thrown to the wolves and people telling each other off on the streets. And it was downtown, baby. It was downtown.
Yeah. Well, and also, we've never really spoken about this. Winnipeg is known as the murder capital of Canada. Does it still have that distinction, Ribo?
Murder capital and Slurpee capital of Canada. So after you knife someone in the street, you go get a nice Slurpee. There's a whole bunch of different varieties.
That kind of sums up Lee Wren in a nutshell. Murder capital and Slurpee capital. But you
I don't think it's always. I think it flip-flops with other towns like Regina now. But I think for a good 10 or 11, 12 years when we were teenagers, it was every year it was.
So we would take the bus downtown, and there was always a little routine that you would do. You'd go get something. You know, I would always get a crispy meat burrito and a big blueberry muffin from Muffin in the not Polo Park, in the Eaton Center. What's Pilaf Park?
Pilaf Park, that was pronounced anyway. But
and then you'd go to Records on Wheels and you'd buy a bunch of albums. You'd pop into Old Calcutta to see if they had any rock and roll magazines or whatever. You would go to Mother's. Mother's was an arcade.
Mother's was wicked, man. Mother's was a totally different world. It's a little bit further down Portage Avenue towards Maine. I remember that. Yeah, and it was just every video game, everything. Rock and roll posters, T-shirts.
First time I ever saw a bong was at Old Calcutta. So you would go in there, it would smell like spices, like curry and all this. It was run obviously by people from Calcutta, from India, and it would smell very Indian, you know, like the food and all that sort of thing. And then they had all of these strange looking apparatuses with long tubes, and like it might be like a kind of an Indian elephant with the 4 tusks and a big tube sticking out the top, and it was like, what do you do with that? And it's like, you put your weed in it.
Oh man.
So yeah, if you wanted a bong, if Bill Parasides needed a bong, he knew where to go to Old Calcutta and pick one up.
Oh, that's great.
But that actually fits into the topic today, because it was one of those legendary bus trips that I discovered Iron Maiden. I bought Power Slave record, and on the bus ride home, the cassette, I listened to my first Iron Maiden record, and that's why we're going to be talking all about Iron Maiden today. It's made in Winnipeg.
Woo-hoo!
See what I did there?
Yeah, right on.
Nice.
It seems like there's certain bands in Winnipeg that were really huge. Ozzy was one. Everyone loves Ozzy in Winnipeg. AC/DC, and then Iron Maiden, just huge in the peg for sure. Would you guys agree with that?
Absolutely, 100%. Priest, Maiden, Ozzy, biggest bands in Winnipeg almost.
Yeah. So and Maiden would come to Winnipeg pretty much like every tour. They always came. And I think my second ever concert was Iron Maiden Power Slave with Twisted Sister opening, which was cool.
Very cool.
What was yours?
I think one of my first. Shows ever was Maiden, with Guns N' Roses. I think actually wasn't my first show, but that was one of them. No one even knew who Guns N' Roses was yet at that point.
Yeah, that was that was Seventh Son of a Seventh Son tour. I believe that was in '88. The poster I have up on the wall on the screen right now is Winnipeg '87, which was a Somewhere in Time tour. Opening band Wasted.
Nice.
And this is when Lee Wren, we just mentioned his name, he had a connection at the West End downtown who knew which bands were staying there and what floor they were on. And Adrian Smith, Iron Maiden was on like, I don't know, the 8th floor or whatever it may be. And I went up to it. I was able to get up there. I kind of had to sneak in there because there was like security and stuff. And I just started knocking on doors. And then eventually Adrian Smith answered the door with a big towel around his head. He had just got out of the shower. And I was like, hey, can I get a picture with you? He's like, no, just got out of the shower. And I was like, okay. He goes, all right. And he closes the door. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, do I wait here? Like, he didn't say no. So I just stood there. I kind of just waited. Like, if I was in the shower, okay, maybe 10 minutes, that's enough time, right? Maybe 15. And that's when the security came and kicked me out. That was my first encounter with anybody from Iron Maiden.
he's always so friendly too, right?
Super, you know how like kind of quiet and kind of like, just very dry. And he wasn't mean. He wasn't nice. He was just got out of the shower. What was your first Maiden gig, Dave?
I thought I saw them in '83. I was trying to think about this today because they came around, I think, Peace of Mind or something.
They did,
I'm pretty sure they did. But I might have been just seeing like it's one of those things. I don't think I was there. I'm pretty sure I wasn't there. I would have remembered that. I was just so young in '83. So I probably didn't see them until '86, which would have been the Power Slave at the arena with Twisted Sister opening up.
That was not '86. That was December of 1984.
'84.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Okay. So '83 was Peace of Mind. '84 they did Power Slave. So I was at the '84 show for sure.
Gotcha.
If you remember that. And then again to see them with the reunion of that was super wicked, right? To relive that.
Oh yeah.
And that's where we're leading this is we took a trip in 2008 to see Iron Maiden in Los Angeles. And it was kind of their return to playing mostly older songs. It was the Somewhere Back in Time tour. And they were only playing at the time a few gigs, like kind of mostly around the world. They were only playing a few in North America. And I think it might have only been one in North America. And it was at the Forum, February 19th, 2008.
Right.
Is when that was, which is so crazy to think it was that long ago. But we decided to meet up in LA, actually to meet up in Las Vegas, to go to a pay-per-view that we had. And that's a whole other story. I mean, that could be.
That's the Hangover.
That's the literal real life Hangover, and that happened before the movie Hangover happened. But so we finally, crawled out of. It's a long story short. We go to see Maiden on February 19th at the Forum. This is after 4 or 5 days of just so much drinking and so many incidents that I remember, like, just being so fucking out of it. Like, you got come on, man, it's Iron Maiden. Fire up. And I was super excited about it. I remember thinking, like, if this was anybody else or anything else, I would not go out tonight. Like, I'm done. Do you remember how bad that was?
I remember that was one of the worst. Like, Vegas was just insane. The night before it was like I just saw The Wolf of Wall Street the other day, and that's what it was like. It was just like
yeah.
For us, it was like we couldn't have gone any crazier. We stayed up all night.
And we said we were going to go to bed early so we could party at the Maiden stuff in LA. That's a funny thing. It's like, well, we'll just spend a Saturday night in Vegas. we'll just take it easy. I'll probably be bed maybe 2 a.m. It's like I remember 7:30 in the morning still running around. Like,
Oh, it was bad.
Anyway, that's another show.
Well, but here's the thing, though. I'm looking it up right now, and here's like I said, we'll get this. It is another show, but here's the lineup of the basic skeleton crew of where we were. Friday, we had a house show. No, I think it was Saturday. We had a WWE show in LA. Rybo met me in LA. Then we drove 4 hours to Vegas where we met you guys.
Okay.
And then we might have actually been on Friday and went to Vegas for a day off.
Yeah, because Dave, you and I think Chad were partying with the Jeff and Lee the night before, and then we showed up.
That's right. Oh my God, that was another crazy night. Oh,
right.
God.
So you guys are Friday in Vegas. We're Friday in Los Angeles, then end up in Vegas. Then there's the pay-per-view on Sunday. Then it's Sunday all night long. Crazy. Wake up late for my flight and realize I got to drive now to LA for our Raw show, for WWE Raw, which we then drove terribly hungover, injured, cut open, stories that we'll tell another time. We did the show in Raw, and then we went out again that night, and then a whole other day where we met up with the Roth brothers to do Maiden, and then stayed up then again all night. So it was that was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 5-day affair.
Crazy.
Woo.
Okay, I thought it was only like 2 days. Like, no wonder we packed so much in. But
yeah, right. And we had it was the timing of it was perfect. So we were going to go see the Maiden gig. We met up with Eli Roth and Gabe Roth. Of course, obviously Eli, a very famous director, and Gabe's done a lot of great stuff himself. Great guys. And is that the first time you had met them?
It was for me.
Yeah, me too. I remember on the way, like when we left Vegas, we're like, "Okay, we got to go, man. You got to get to your wrestling, show." And Chad went and bought these like day-old sandwiches at like somewhere, and he's like, "Yeah, I got sandwich from everybody, like for everybody." And they're like, "It was a good deal. I got a good deal on it." It was these moldy sandwiches. We all just like, that was one of the worst drives I've ever had.
Ever.
And we were so hungover, it was probably 100 degrees. So we were like, you could put the air conditioner on to like 20 to 0 in Canadian terms, and you still would be sweating. This sandwiches kind of gave us some food poisoning and the sun in your eyes.
It was the shittiest day. You woke me up, or all of us, just like we had to go. And I probably closed my eyes for maybe 7.5 minutes. That was it. Just started falling into sleep, and boom. Hurry the fuck up, and we're running out to try to get, because you had to get to the arena. But anyway, that's again another story.
Another story. So we go to the show, and I remember, so it was at the Forum. This is the only show that they're playing for this tour, and I had an interview with Dave Murray and Adrian Smith beforehand with the WWE magazine. You guys remember that? Because I think who got the tickets for that gig? Did I get the tickets? Did WWE help us get tickets? Because I don't think I really had a connection with Maiden then, or did I have a connection? Because we kind of met them in 2000 at the reunion. So maybe I did have a connection with them. Do you guys remember anything about that?
Well, it would have been you out of us. I can't see. I don't think Steve Harris called me up. He's like, listen, that old Calcutta in Winnipeg, what time's it open till? Here's some tickets.
By we, I meant me. Do you guys remember how the tickets came? I don't recall.
I think they came from you.
No.
There wasn't any other WWF or E guys there at all, if I recall.
No, but I'm just saying, I know that I did the interview for the magazine with them, so I was wondering maybe if the company, maybe because I did the interview, was able to hook it up. But that was a lot of tickets, because there was 4 of us, and then there was the Roth brothers as well. So
I feel like we saw Maiden before when we saw them in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
we saw them in Milwaukee and Chicago that one time. And you and Adrian Smith hit it off pretty good. And I remember his son was a big fan of yours, so you ended up calling, and that was kind of the connection there. I think
you're right.
Adrian, you kind of had to. So I would assume that you got it from him.
You're exactly right. I had the connection with Adrian since 2000. And I'd seen him a few times over the years, so he's the one that probably hooked us up. So, and I think what happened was he got us the 4 tickets, and then I was able to get 2 more through the WWE magazine thing or whatever. But anyway, so I'm trying to remember. All I remember is basically from the actual show on. Is there anything that happened before the show that you guys recall? Was there a VIP room that we went to or anything?
Dave.
I don't recall. I remember going with Eli and Gabe and all of us, and we went to the merch area early. We were already in the arena early, and Eli bought us all these awesome. There it is, the pink Iron Maiden shirt. Yeah, which is so cool. I still have mine.
Yeah.
And Chad was in the shitter. He didn't get one. He's still burnt about it. But anyway, it was really nice. He's taking a shit, eh? But it was nice to have the shirt, and that was just such a great concert. Yeah, fuck you. I'm the star here. Yeah.
So why was Chad was in the shitter? So Eli only bought shirts for the people that he saw?
Yeah, and nobody really said anything to Eli, but because he was just like, "I'll buy you all shirts." We're like, "Okay." It was so nice. It was great.
Yeah,
didn't matter. Chad has experience.
I remember we went to see. You were supposed to wrestle. You didn't wrestle, but I remember Larry King was there, and we met Larry King when we first pulled up, and Chad had to get some surgery done.
That was on the Monday. This is the next day on a Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah, because we went to wrestling the night before Maiden, and we were a front row, Ryan, with all of us. We had Eli and Gabe. They were front row. We were 2 rows behind them, and we were just holding our fucking heads, dying. It had been up for like 72 hours probably at that point. Yeah. Before the Maiden show. The Maiden show, we weren't partying really. Like we couldn't.
We couldn't.
We were just So
we were trying. We were trying. Yeah. Like we normally don't have to try. It just happens. We just show up and like, hey, don't worry, it's gonna take care of itself. This was like we had to put some real effort in to try to party. Like Dave and I were like, oh, it's just
yeah. Well,
chug a beer, get
at the forum, it was $26 a double vodka anyway, so it wasn't a hard decision to not get loaded.
But I remember too, though, like when the gig started. Do you remember? It was just so hot. Like, because we were right, like we were right in the middle of everything. We wanted to be as close as we could, and it was just. It's so funny now, of course, in the era of the Corona, but jam-packed, wall to wall, shoulder to shoulder, and just covered in sweat. Like the shirt was just drenched. Yeah. You guys remember that?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Ryan had some gigs coming up. Here's an interesting inside story because you were right up there the whole time, right? The Maiden comes out, crowd is just fucking full on the floor, right? As you would imagine. And there's this super tall guy, and Ryan and I are getting bumped around pretty good. We're trying to come up where you are, closer to the stage. But Ryan's like, fuck, dude, this guy just smashed my arm. Like, fuck, I can't get caught in some mosh thing. I got a gig or whatever. It was probably with the Watchman at the time, so he didn't want to get, break his arm, which could happen at a Maiden.
Yeah, of course.
And we see this guy, 7 foot tall monster, all right? And he's fucking looks just fucked up. And I'm like, Ryan, check this guy out. So we walk out of the crowd a little bit, and we kind of watch him from the side of the stage, and this guy starts rocking, and he just fucking barfs. Like, I've never seen anything like it. It's just going everywhere, and people are running for their lives, and this huge circle opens up in the middle of the fucking floor at a packed Iron Maiden show, and Ryan and I watch as people who didn't see the puke start running to get their opportunity for good seats.
That hole is open up.
And I could throw up. No, I was gagging. My eyes were watering. It was like they're stepping in this guy's puke. He just walks out of there like fucking wasted. I do remember that. And I remember Jeff Lowry, Red Cup Jeff from Las Vegas, whoop, up in the stands, looking at you and I, throwing fucking garbage. He just goes up there, starts making friends with somebody in the row right on the ledge of the thing, and he's just throwing fucking garbage at us. It was a fun night.
Well, it was a good night too. If you will pull up the set list to see, like, this is made when they weren't doing these types of songs. Look at this: Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, Power Slave, Heaven Can Wait. They haven't played those songs since this tour, I don't think.
Right.
Can I Play with Madness? Most of them are other ones they play pretty much so. But when you go to a Maiden gig, and if you can get, if you can get Rhyme, Power Slave, Heaven Can Wait. They also did Moonchild, The Clairvoyant. Like I said, I don't think they've done those songs since. So for hardcore Maiden fans, it was great. So the show was good, super hot. But then afterwards, because we had the connection, we got to go backstage. And this is where the fun starts. And backstage is a place called Rod's Room. And Rod Smallwood, love that name, by the way, Rod Smallwood, is the manager of Iron Maiden. And he always has his after party. And you never know who's going to be there, who's not going to be there. But the thing was, because it was LA And because it was the only show that Maiden was really doing, everybody was there.
So many people.
So many people. So I remember that's when we started rocking, because I remember Rod asked if we needed anything. Or somehow there was a bottle of vodka that we bought, stole, assumed it was ours, whatever. And a bottle of vodka in the lot, but it's enough. And that's when we flipped the switch and started rocking again. I remember that. Who was some of the famous people that you guys remember? Who was the first ones you came in contact with?
I remember when we got those VIP passes, which were insane, that I said to Ryan, let's go back to the bar. Okay, the Maiden show was still on. We just left for just a quick one because of all this guy puking. That was right after that. So I said, let's just go grab a quick drink, like really quick, like do a shot or whatever. So we go into that VIP bar, which was kind of down below the stage. And there's Courtney Love sitting there just, bombed. Who are you guys? And all that kind of thing. But as we walked.
Doubt that.
She didn't sound like that.
I doubt she said anything to you.
What are you guys doing over there?
Hey guys, I'm Courtney Love. Who are you guys?
It's after 11 p.m. You should be at home in bed. I love I'm just holding ice. I'm making a drink. But we ended up running into Ronnie James fucking Dio, Rybo and I, in the stairwell on the way to the bar for our $25 shot of vodka each. And
really?
It was super cool. And I should have taken a photo, but I just thought he kind of looked at us like, hey, hi. He looked at Ryan, had the huge beard and the super long hair. Yeah. And he was like, hey, right on, hey, like that. And it was like, fuck, he thinks we're somebody. Let's just fucking keep it like that.
That's perfect, because we actually you couldn't go anywhere. Like we were coming down the stairs, he's coming up. There's no avoiding us or anything like that. So, but he was just like super, super nice. I mean, he looked even smaller because we were coming from up, and it was just like. Hey.
I remember I said to him, I said, Ron,
Ron, like you.
I know him. Hey, Ron.
Was he by himself?
No, his wife was with him.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah,
very cool.
So we had that experience, and that was, and then we just went back and rocked it.
I remember. Well, actually, at the
backstage, and you can tell that. I mean, sorry, Ryan.
I mean, well, actually, even before that, at the bar, there was what's his name, Sam Wood or whatever, the guy who did the metal documentary. Was that his name?
Sam Dunn, I think.
Sam Dunn. That's it.
Oh, the guy from Ottawa.
Yeah, big tall guy. Also, what's his name? That I'm horrible for blanking out, but the that comedian who was on Sarah Silverman's show, the big tall guy, huge metal.
Brian Posehn.
Brian Posehn.
Yeah, Brian Posehn. Yeah. He another thing too. I remember with Sam Dunn, you mentioned that documentary Flight 666 they were filming, and I'm actually in Flight 666 taking a picture with Adrian from that show. Because I think the WWE guys wanted to take some pictures of me and Adrian, or maybe we just got some on our own. But you see me in there for a brief second from that night. So we go into the backstage area, and there is like so many cool people, like you said. But the first guy that we see that I was flipping out, because the first time I ever met him was Lars Ulrich. And I remember Lars was there. He was holding his jacket over his shoulder the whole time. And the aforementioned story where he rear-ended Rybo's girlfriend, now long-term partner, wife, spinal tap, whatever the fuck she is.
In a car, by the way.
Yeah, in a car. Sorry, I have to tell this story. But Lars was there. And
pre-beard. Oh God, what was going on?
Look at that hunky Bill face, Stewie. What a bohunk.
Jesus.
Lars looked really impressed.
Yeah, he you can see he's wearing a Blue Oyster Cult shirt, and he held that jacket over his shoulder the whole time. He never took it off. He just held it there. And I remember just like, we're from fucking Winnipeg. That's fucking cool. We played there a lot of times. So yeah, we've seen them. Yeah, fucking great, man. Like, he was really nice and friendly, but like you said, everybody wanted to talk to Lars.
Definitely, yeah. He was a big guy. Well, it's kind of interesting because I don't want to skip ahead to who was there, but this is before the Big Four happened.
Right.
And there was Lars was there, Scott Ian was there, and Kerry King was there.
Kerry King, yeah.
It's kind of like
was.
There we go, Kerry King right there. Yeah.
That's a great picture right there, man.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that was me saying, Eli, if you need anybody for a part,
Right. I like it too. You haven't figured out how to make the Dio sign either, Dave. You're
No,
supposed to put both fingers down.
I hurt myself in a nunchuck accident. I can't actually bend that finger properly.
Everyone else is doing they're doing this, and he's doing the shocker there.
But yeah, there's Carrie there. And if you look, Eli's shirt is the best. It says Ingmar Bergman written in Iron Maiden letters.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. That's super cool.
You zoom into that.
Yeah.
So like I said, all these guys are here, and then I remember Yannick Garris was there. He came in. He's like, "You want some?" He's kind of got a really high voice. Like, "You want some pizza? Just get some pizza, man. You need a pizza?" He just kept trying to push this pizza on me, and I was like, thanks, man." But
the rock stars in the food, just like Paul and Gene, it's like, try the deep pickles. Try the
yeah, exactly. There's here's a great shot here. Another one with Adrian that we talked about. And that's the four of us who are on the tour. The guy with the mustache is Wise cousin Chad, pretty much my little brother and friends, good friends with all of us. But there he is, Adrian Smith, right there, and we'll tell a little story about you guys and Adrian. But then, lo and behold, in walks Steve Harris. Now, to this day, like I know all the Maiden guys, obviously, like Adrian and Nico are super easy to talk to, and Bruce depends what kind of mood he's in, whatever. But I still never really know what to say to Steve, although I do now because he's been on Talk with Jericho and that sort of thing. But so I was kind of a little bit afraid of him. So I was such a huge Steve Harris fan when I was a kid that I didn't really know how to approach it. But so he comes in, and when he comes in, he goes to start talking with Lars. Do you remember that? Like just how crazy it was to see like the architects of possibly the two biggest heavy metal bands of all time having a conversation with each other.
Very
good. I had my camera ready and took some photos and continued, but that was really something to see that. Yeah, I agree.
Well, something that me and Wallace used to do all the time is we would go to the Polo Park Inn when wrestling was in town. And because we never wanted to bother the wrestlers, or maybe we were a little bit too scared, we would stand against a brick wall. And when a wrestler walked by, if it was me standing against the brick wall, Wallace would be the guy with the camera. And as the guy walked by, he would go, "Honky Tonk Man." And Honky Tonk Man would look, and you take the picture, right? And if I'm this guy right here, this black guy, this black cutout behind me right there on the wall, that's me, and I'm Honky Tonk Man. Honky Tonk Man. And so you would chances get a picture together. Now, of course, there was no cell phones to check it, so you would just go with it. And 9 times out of the 10, the ones I took for Wallace were good. The ones he took for me were terrible. The blurry, only see my face, only see his face, whatever it was. So the idea was because Steve and Lars were talking, I remember just standing going, there's enough room there that if we stand behind them, they're not going to see us. But we can take a picture where it's going to look like all four of us are hanging out.
Yeah, it sure worked well. We so we had to split up. We went around the entire backstage, you and I, and met up at the middle. And we're just like, "Hey, Chris, how's it going?" And then looked at the camera.
Oh, that's how you did that. That's great. That's great.
And Dave was ready. And Dave did
I was taking pictures of the two of them anyway. You guys just jumped in the frame.
Right,
that's
exactly.
So great. That's so fucking excellent. Oh my god.
And if you see, I don't know, out of the peripheral vision might have seen us, but I don't think that they knew we were taking a picture with them. And why was it you and me why was it the combination of you and me, Ryan?
So I'm not sure. Just because why not? Well, actually,
faster on your feet. That's great. Does Lars know you took this photo? This would be funny to show him now that you guys are closer. So it'd be funny.
I should send that to him. Yeah, just to let him know. I should send this to him. I'm sure you'd like to have it just Photoshop us out and have this picture of him and Steve hanging out, you know?
He sends it back. Thanks. You guys are gone. It's in a frame. It's huge, and blown up.
And another cool thing is if you zoom in right behind Lars's head, you see that bald head. That's Kerry King. So he's in the shot as well. But like you said, the pre Big Four, the only guy that wasn't there was anybody from Megadeth, as far as I know. I don't think Mustaine was there.
No,
you guys look so great in that photo, man. I'm just dying. That's great.
Great smile there, Chris. Like just
I know.
Total, I don't know what it is. But you're trying.
I guess we're even trying to fuck around too.
You got the Angus.
not only are we doing it, we're doing the old like ski type of a thing.
Yeah,
That's
that's great.
two of our
That's
biggest influences, though. Like Lars was such a huge influence for me when I was younger, and Steve for you, like, and still to this day. But
that's another great point. Like high school, like when we were in Scimitar, you had the bass player and drummer of Scimitar standing, bass players standing each other, drummers standing each other. Your biggest influence was Lars, mine was Steve. So it's like
Very cool.
the greatest rhythm section ever, and us. But then I remember we stayed for a while, and just because it was so cool just to be around, and there was probably dozens of other people there. But when Lars and Steve are there, and then said Kerry King and Scott Ian and Dio, it's like if Janie Lang was there, you wouldn't really notice it as much,
Yeah.
But the good times. And then years later. This comes up again when Iron Maiden comes to Edmonton and Calgary, and then you muster up some courage to invite him to do something, Dave. Tell us what happened then.
I mustered up some courage. Adrian has always been such a gent to us and such a nice person. So he would always talk about fishing. Sorry, I should say that we found out that he was an avid fisherman. And we didn't really. We know, we're not going to blow our loads. We're gonna talk to a guy. We're gonna talk about fishing. We all love fishing anyway, all of us. So we're gonna talk some fishing. I'm not gonna talk to him about run to the hills. I'm talking fishing. So we got to become friends just based on fishing. And then he came to Calgary, and your cousin Chad and I and Adrian went out on the Bow River for about 10 hours, full summer day of fishing. He caught 47 fish. Chad caught a little tiny fish, and I didn't even get a bite. And he was that's how good he is. And it was the same river, same shit. He's got some Zen thing going on. But it was just a fantastic time. It was super fun. He's a great mate.
And then you guys even offered to pay.
Well, we did pay. Actually, we paid for Adrian to have this little fishing trip with us. Yes,
guys making $1 million a year, and you guys paid the $1,500 for fishing.
I'm still paying it off.
Did he not?
Had a fantastic time.
He took you out for a dinner, did he? After that?
Yeah, we went to the Keg. The bill was $175. I wouldn't say it took care of the actual trip. He was like, oh, you didn't have to do that. And we just thought, oh, well, there we are together. Yeah. And I thought, well, we'll take care of it for you. Chad and I talked about it. We threw it on credit. That's a long time.
The next day is like, that Pee-wee. No, if you knew your name next day, that's Pee-wee. He lives by his own drummer, doesn't he? And he walks to a different drummer. What a laugh. What a laugh he is. What a laugh. I said, yeah he's kind of our Nickel McBrain.
Yeah, that's funny. I messaged Adrian last summer. I messaged him last summer, and I said, hey, I was in Manitoba at the cabin. I saw that Maiden was coming to Winnipeg on the Friday. So I emailed Adrian, and because he answered. I said, hey, it's Dave Spivak, Spee-wee. We fished on the Bow River, and he's like, could you be more specific? Yeah, really. So I was like, Jericho's buddy. He's like, oh, yes. He goes, I said, I see you're in Winnipeg. If you got time to say hi, be awesome to see you. Or could I get some tickets kind of thing, And he's like, sure, how many? And I said, me plus one. So I took Ryan, and we went to the show. But Adrian did say to me in that email, he says, I'm going to Alberta in 3 days. I'm going to be fishing. Will you be there then? And I wasn't there then, and I almost thought about just trying to change my plans to be there. And then I thought, you got to try to keep it somewhat real. But and he didn't really ask me, by the way. It was just like maybe he was looking for somebody to pay. He probably just.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
free ride.
I really like a free fishing trip again. If you're
Yeah.
So tell us about Rybo when you went because Adrian got you a pass and you guys were backstage. What was the backstage experience like?
Not the same as when we saw them in LA.
It wasn't Rod's room, right?
No, it wasn't Rod's room. No.
Well, we didn't get to meet them. They left right after the show, which is respectful, understandable. They took off right away. And we went to this little room, and there was a bucket full of random beers, like a Coors Light or a Moosehead. Corona, and then a bag of nuts. And I just looked at Ryan at one point and went, I took him fishing. 10 hours of my life. A lot of money spent for a paper boy. Took him. That's a good bit, by the way. We love you, Adrian. We're just fucking with you. But anyway, I was like,
like he's ever gonna watch this.
So I ate some fucking nuts, and I said, all right. And then I hung out like some lost teenage soul out in the hallways for an extra hour. Like Ryan's like, dude, I'm leaving. You don't need to stay here. I'm like, I know he's gonna come.
He's gonna come. I'm sure of it.
7-8 years ago, a big moment, and but I never talked to him again. Then Chad saw him, I think, in Calgary, possibly.
I remember how you're like, there's nothing but peanuts here. They only give me peanuts.
Yeah.
That happens though a lot of times. Like I went to Rush before, and they give you the backstage pass, and there's nobody there. It's just like a room where you hang out until if you want to be a real rock and roller. That's what Foster does with the Stones. You can get a backstage pass for the Stones, and guess what happens? You're just hanging out back behind the stage, but there's no Stones coming in to say hi. So it's not an insult like he jobbed you out and just said, I'm just leaving with the peanuts. It was more of like they probably just split after the show, and you guys can hang out and have one random beer, a bag of nuts, and go your own way.
There you go.
It's true. It is. But you think that you always have this hope, and you kind of go, wow, this is going to be this big thing. And it's like when Tyler and I bought tickets to Bob Dylan at the Jubilee in Calgary about 3-4 years ago, front row center. I'm to the left of Bob. He's to the right. They were $530 a piece. And it's like it came with all this free shit, and they sent you like a foam clock or something stupid, And I remember Chris saying to me, he's like, oh, dude, that's crazy, man. Like, maybe you'll meet him because it's a VIP pass. I'm like, meet Bob Dylan. Like, he hasn't done an interview since 97 or something. He's not going to meet me. He goes, well, what would you do if you met him? And I said, I don't know. And I just finished West of the Red with Ryan. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll give him my CD. And then Chris, typical fashion, he's like pretending he's Dylan. This guy backstage gave me a CD. I've never been given a CD before. And then just plays like one of my songs in like F sharp or something. And you just see steam coming out of my ears in the front.
Yeah, I was saying that Dylan would accept the CD, and then later on that night come out with his own interpretation of one of Dave's songs. Get out of my house, but Dylan style. And Dave would just be furious. Like, that's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. Get out of my house. That's not how it goes.
Ruins it. Just ruins the song.
It's a really good bit. I like that.
And do you
That
remember
was a great
too?
show, by the way.
Adrian, I was emailing with him. He mentioned, I heard from Pee Wee the other day. He's coming to the show. He left out the Pee Wee became Pee Wee to him. So.
Oh, that's even funny. Yeah, I give a guy some money. Hey, what are you, a hooker? Now I'm Pee Wee. Give me a break.
Buy you some fishing trip. All you give me is a bag of peanuts and forget my name.
I'm buying a fishing trip. Hashtag Adrian Smith. Yeah. Come on, Adrian. We could talk the blues.
Yeah. Good times, man. And then of course,
I remember when we were in LA and you gave us. We all had these. It looks like a very romantic time you guys had anyway. And
I was actually going to hump him for the picture, and Chad was taking it, and it was just before I really started moving the hips in, so I was going at it because he's like, "Oh, you're crazy, Spewy." And I said, "Yeah, motherfucker, crazy enough to
hump you.
Be worth a bag of peanuts." That's what you're saying, Ribo?
Here's my bag of peanuts right here. When we went to LA, we all got our backstage passes. And you just handed them out or whatever. And I had this like special one that was like the extra backstage of the backstage. And you're like, what is that? That's for me. Give me that. That's mine. Obviously, it's for you, right?
Oh, we played the stadium with them?
No. This is in LA. They had, because I guess we all had backstage passes, but you had like an extra one that they had a backstage even behind. So we'd be sitting there hanging out. And then there was like another backstage where Maiden was with their close friends. And then you had one pass for that went in there. And I think we actually all eventually kind of
but
stuck in there and got in there.
Yeah, I
At
wasn't
that
gonna.
point, At that point, there was only like Yannick was in there and Nico or something like that, which
But I
I'm not
was like, yeah,
complaining about. Those guys are hilarious and great guys.
that's mine. Give my pass back.
But you wouldn't pay for them to go fishing. Those two, no fishing trip. There's only a few from Iron Maiden. You'll pay the bill. I did the right thing. I don't regret it. Love you, Adrian.
All right.
You pay next time.
Well, guys, once again, this is just basically the tip of the iceberg for this weekend, which we could probably do a bunch more shows on it. Once again, if you liked our show, make sure to make some memes or some funny pictures if you want. You can always go to Spooey Memes for that. We also had a great video.
We just hired that guy to go to Spewy Means for any fan mail, anything you got.
The great video that Mackenzie pulled up last week that I still am not sure exactly how it works, but we'll worry about that later. But we appreciate you guys listening. We'll always love your comments. Hit us up on Twitter at I am Jericho or what are you, DSP? Dave? DSP Project? What's your Twitter?
Dave Spivak Project. D Spivak Project, I think.
Gotcha. Well, that's it. Another great edition of Winnipeggers. And
COVID.
All right, guys and girls. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week right here.
See you guys.
Peanuts, peanuts, give me some nuts. Give me some peanuts. I was just saying peanuts.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.